Welcome back, guys. UC Organic Gardening. Today we're going to talk about melons, the different type of melons that we have, and we're also going to talk about other fruit that we carry in our urban garden. Last time we talked about our melons, watermelon. Let's take a quick update and see how they're doing. As you can see, the vines are continuing to grow out. We're getting lots and lots of growth. Phenomenal growth. Look at how large those leaves are. Magnificent. And let's take a look at the melons and see what we're looking like. Look at how big that watermelon has gotten just in a week's time. Very good. Very nice. So we've gotten the growth. We know that those watermelons definitely were fertilized properly. We've got more melons that have come along. So the watermelon patch is doing very well. We even have melons developing. So we'll continue to monitor the patch, see how it does. We should have some nice melons coming off in about 2 months. Now, in previous videos, we talked about the different melons that I had on the end of each bed. And we talked about the fencing that was used for the trellising of those melons. Now, as we see, the melons have definitely reached the trellis. Not only that, we've got melons. Now, these were pollinated by the bees, the insects. This particular bed right here has two different watermelons. We've got Sugar Baby, and we've got Blacktail Mountain watermelon. Now the next bed we've got Honeydew, and it looks like there's a baby honeydew right there. We've got a honeydew, and this is a French melon. Nordicom, I believe the name. And we've actually got fruit. Now the next bed, we've got cantaloupe, and we got collective farm melon. Lots of flowers, lots of blooms. As you can see, definitely on the fence, trellising very nicely. And in the last bed, we've got rich sweetness melon, and we've got tiger melon. Now, the majority of these seeds came from Baker Creek Seed Company. But of course, I used a lot of seeds that I grew fruits and vegetables from last year. Now over here, we've got a raspberry patch. 18 feet long. It was put in last year. We got a lot of growth last year. And I do believe, guys, we've got raspberries. Look at that. Definitely raspberries. Now, raspberries are a 2-year process. This growth that you see right here with no raspberries on it, that growth right there is going to produce raspberries next year. The growth that you see with raspberries, that is the growth that grew last year. So it is definitely a 2-year process. And this is a very thick bed. Let me give you a long view. Look at that growth. Absolutely phenomenal. Raspberries all over. Look at that. Now, right next to the raspberries, I've got grapes. Now, grapes did not do very well this year because of the cold spell that we got. It killed the primaries. But what came out was the secondary buds. But because of all the rain that we got in the early part of the season when grapes first start growing, we have lots of powdered mildew, fungus, we've got leaf spots, and very hard to control because of the consistent rain that we had. But I do have grapes, guys. Let's take a look. Look at that. Look at that. Nice, pretty clusters. So we do have some grapes, but not very many. Now, the grape bed initially started out this year 24 feet long. I added additional 12 feet to make it a total of 36. So next year I expect lots of grapes. We'll do what we can to prevent the cold weather and the rain from causing so much mayhem. But you can't fight Mother Nature's, guys. You just can't. Now let's go take a look at the rest of the fruit. First up, this is my cherry tree, Montgomery cherry. It's an early variety, already harvested. All we've got now is just luscious, phenomenal growth. And as you can see, that's got to be at least 8 or 9 feet tall. So I'll trim that back in the wintertime to reduce that down and to keep it in control. Right next to it, we've got a double plum tree. This is a 2-in-1 plum tree purchased from Stark Brothers. Now, this was just a stick, guys. I put that in this year. Look at that phenomenal growth on it already. So definitely I expect plums out of this thing next year. 2 different types of plums to reduce having 2 trees. With this type of grafting, I only need 1. Beautiful. Now let me check out this. Let me show you this 2-3-year project that we've got here. Now we've been doing these blackberries for quite a while here. As you can see, absolutely laced with blackberries. All over the place. Look at all those blackberries, guys. That's some good eating right there. Blackberry pie tonight. All over. As you can see, I've got netting. If I didn't have the netting, I would not get any of these blackberries. The birds would already have them. So in order for me to get blackberries, I have to cover them up, protect them from the birds. The bees and the bugs can still get in, but the birds cannot. Now this blackberry patch goes down 72 feet. I've got a 24-foot bed on the far end, and I've got a 24-foot bed on this end. That middle bed did not survive the winter, so I'm gonna have to clear that out and plant something else, or go back with a different blackberry. Last but not least, let's take a look at strawberries. Now, I've never had really good luck with strawberry, guys. This is phenomenal growth, and for me, definitely enjoying the fact that they're still growing. Not only are they still growing, but guys, I've got strawberries. Let's take a look. Look at that. That's strawberries right there, guys. Look at all that growth going on. Check that out. Strawberries. Strawberries. Now this is an ever-bearing variety. Meaning that it will produce small amounts of strawberries all year long. Most of us are used to the June bearing, meaning that it gives you a nice big harvest all in one time in June, and then you get nothing but growth after that. Well, I wasn't interested in that, so I got the everbearing. Now this will produce strawberries all the way up until first frost. Nice. Last up, let's take a look at the apples. Now, this is a 2-in-1 apple tree. Also purchased from Stark Brothers. As you can see, I've got apples. Definitely got apples. But if we take a look at this side, look at that green apple right there. Dark green, totally different shape than that apple. That apple has red and green. So there's two different apples here. And again, the reason for the 2-in-1 grafting, guys, I don't want to have too many apple trees because I don't have the space. Remember, this is an urban backyard. So this yard is limited with the amount of space that I have. So in order to utilize the space properly, I get your 2-in-1 apple tree, 2-in-1 plum tree, and maybe next year I'll get a 2-in-1 peach tree. Here are the berries on the opposite end. Now the blackberries are exactly the same as the raspberries that I have on the other side. You got a 2-year process. These are vines that grew out last year. And this is the vines that are growing out this year. Now these are the ones that will be producing the berries for next year. As you can see, they're growing all over the place very nicely. So again, UC Organic Gardening, St. Louis, Missouri. If I can do it, you can do it. Phenomenal growth, not just in the vegetable garden, but we're also looking at the fruit and the melons. Until the next video, guys, happy gardening.